your leader, you like, okay, if Tom Brady's the leader, if Shannon Sharp's the leader, if such and such is the leader, do you feel comfortable with the 12, 13, 14 other guys following said guy? Do you feel comfortable with the 46 other guys on a football team following said guy? That's what you know if the guy's a team leader, because you want people to be able to gravitate, and sometimes the best player, but sometimes the best player isn't the best person or the best person to lead.
No.
Because he will lead you astray. And sometimes, Skip, some guys can do that. Some guys can do things that the other players can't do. LT wrote in his book, LT could party all night.
He could.
Come out and turn the lights out the stadium. But I don't know if that's necessarily, and he was the leader just because of the way he conducted himself.
Yeah.
And people looked at LT like, well, damn, how is he able to do that? And I wonder if LT ever saw back and said, you know what, had I done this instead of that, how much more impactful. I mean, he's the greatest defensive player ever, Skip, and we know some of the transgressions that he had off the field. I just think the thing is, Skip, is that Ja is so young and that he's so talented. I think the thing is, Skip, I don't really think he thought he was doing anything wrong, because what did they say? He ain't breaking no laws.
Yeah.
He ain't killing nobody. He's not doing this and that. And so we excuse the behavior that of a young man. And sometimes it could have been growing pains. But I don't think a whole lot of, you don't want those kind of growing pains.
Yeah.
Growing pains. We understand that comes along with being maturing. Maturity, Skip, it takes some time. Some it takes longer than others.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure that you want those type of growing pains for a young man.
Okay, and by the way, the Cowboy teams I covered through the 90s, the leader of those teams, and it wasn't even close, was Michael Irvin.
Playmaker.
Off the field, not so much. Hell had no fury like Michael Irvin unleashed after a victory off the field after hours. But when it was time to show up and play and lead that team, he led that team. So it's like LT. It's like do as I say, not as I do off the field.
Right.
But when it's time to make plays and lead the football team, there was nobody better that I've ever covered, except maybe Michael Jordan, than Michael Irvin. Okay.
As long as you don't have too many guys following him down that path, Skip. Michael did what he did, Michael Irvin, he did what he did, as long as you don't have a contingent.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, what Steven Adams was trying to say, well, Ja, if you stop this, maybe we can stop this bleeding of losing on the road, and maybe, because, Skip, if I'm a young guy, I look at the guy that's doing what he's doing, I'm like, man, as soon as I get in the situation, that seems to be okay. That's what I'm going to do. So you always try to set a positive example.
Yeah, so there's not a veteran leader on the Grizzlies except for Steven Adams, and I'm not sure he counts because he's not good enough. He's not a rising star. So when he made his comments, I'm sure ears were open, but when Ja is listening to those comments, they don't just go in one ear and out the other. I don't think they even go in one ear, because I don't think Ja's going to listen to Steven Adams. That's just me.
They probably went over his head. He's like, he ain't talking to me. So,
That's correct.
Hey, I'm just trying to figure out when is he done, and I can get to point 8.
Okay. Now, final level of this. I saw a comment last night. I was just reading the Ja thread on Twitter. All the reaction just to what had broken about the Colorado police, Denver police are investigating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I saw an interesting one that was aimed at me and you and several other of the commentators around the country in sports media. And the tweeter basically said, hey, we all did some dumb, you-know-what, the SH word.
Yeah.
We all did some dumb SH in our late teens and early 20s. Give him a little bit of a break. And it prompted me in my podcast today, I'm going to go through some of the dumb SH that I risked doing in my late teens and early 20s, and you may be a little surprised by it, but I don't have time to do it here. But I did some risky SH, and it was because I always made good grades, but I wanted to show my homeboys, I wanted to show the guys I played baseball and basketball with that I had a little of that stuff in me too. Like I wasn't afraid to try that or that. I'm not talking about drugs or alcohol, just things that we did that were crazy things. Okay, risky things. If one of those things had gone wrong, I would not be sitting here right now because they were that dangerous. But my point is, even though I was coming up, and I was about to go off to Vanderbilt University. I continued to do some dumb SH while I was at Vanderbilt University, and I had a chance to make something of myself. I wasn't risking what Ja is risking, and that's what everybody sits back and shakes their head at, because I was looking at his contract. Okay, so he only makes $12 million as we speak this season. Only 12, but that's for most people, 12 million would be like...
They'll never see that in their lifetime.
Not in their lifetime. And I also looked this up. He's already made, at age 23, he's made $39 million. I don't know if he squandered some of that, but that's a lot of money, $39 million by the time you're 23. Okay, now he's got the new deal that kicks in next year. It's 5 years for $200 million. So here are his salaries going forward. Next year's 34, then 36, 39, 42, and 44. That's his next 5 years that add up to around $200 million.
Right.
Okay, so we all sit back and say, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
Yes.
Well, he's not thinking. He's just being a kid right now, and that's fun for him, and he wants to show, I don't know if they're his old homeboys or his new homeboys, I can still hang with you guys. I still do what you guys do. I'm not better than you. I'm not above you. I can run the streets with you guys.
Right.
Okay?
I agree with you, Skip. I mean, the stuff that I did, I drove really fast. I mean, the extent of things that I did, I probably knocked over a couple of, I'm sorry, I apologize now, some 40 years later, but we probably knocked over a few mailboxes. Things where we would drive along and we would knock people's mailbox over. So that's the extent of it. But I didn't do anything with gunplay. I didn't flash no guns. I didn't do anything like that. But here's the thing, Skip. None of us had $230 million.
We just didn't. We didn't.
So the question that I have for people that's out there, and I'm going to put it in terms that I hope you can understand. Would you rather spend the next 20 years pretending or wanting to live a lifestyle where you have guns and you flash guns and you pulling guns or you pointing beams at people? Or would you rather have $230+ million? Or would you rather have the potential of having a $500 million contract? Now, which would you rather live the next 20 years of your life as? A thug worried about, damn, can't sit with my back to the door. I got to worry about somebody running down on me. Or $500 million and have security and sleep good at night. Which would you choose? Because you mentioned it, Skip. You said as a teenager or as a young, in your late teens, early 20s. You did not have $200 million. You had not made $39 million.
No. So, Shannon, it dawned on me last night when I looked up the money. He has made $39 million, and if he's saved it, invested parts or all of it, you can argue he's already good, right? He's already a made man. I mean, that's, I don't know if you call that generational, but I think it's pretty close to generational wealth if you, again, you invest it correctly. So is a part of him thinking, I'm good? I don't know.
I don't think that, but I do think the association brings on assimilation. I think, Skip, Skip, if you think about it, when people say, well, I want to hang around people that's investing, that's talking wealth management, and so now all of a sudden you start to have those ideas, you start to think like them. All of a sudden you hang around somebody that wants to be gunplay, wants to be thuggish, wants to do certain things, you start to think and do and act like them. That's why you need to have right-minded people that have the same ideology, that want to accomplish the same thing. Positive people in your life, not negativity, not people that wants to do dumb things and bring you down. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully Ja's like, man, he had an opportunity to sit back and see, like, damn, yeah, this was the wrong, I was going about this thing totally wrong. Learn from his mistakes and become a better man. Because like you said, Skip, he's 23, he'll be 24 in August. He still has another, 12, 13 year. He can make, Skip, he can make $500, $600 million just on NBA contract. Forget the $10, $15, $20 million Nike deal and becoming the face of a major brand, another brand. So, and you want to do what? You got out of Sumter, South Carolina, some small town in South Carolina, and your idea is like, okay, yeah, guys, I got out, but let me show you how I still do this thing. That's backwards way of thinking. That's why you did what you did, Ja. Was to get away from that. I think, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's what you still want to do. You want to be worth $500, $600 million and still let your homeboys know that you carry that thing with you. To each his own.
And final thought, Shannon. Wouldn't you agree? We hear Kevin Durant and Book in Phoenix, and for that matter, Chris Paul, talk about how they love to hoop together. I always get the feeling that Ja really loves to hoop. Like he knows that's what he was born to do. Well, now he's faced with a crossroads where, do you want that taken away from you? Because that's what you're risking. Forget about the money. What is your happiness on earth? It's playing basketball in the National Basketball Association on national TV almost every night. Well, do you want that taken away? Because that's what you're risking right now. They will take that away from you and say no more.
You're absolutely right. You're playing a dangerous game, Skip, because when you flash money and you do stuff like that, man, you got to be careful because we see it all the time. We've seen rappers lose their life because they flashed something or they displayed something. You put that gun up on, Skip, people will check you. People will really, really see, you really about that? You think you about that, young blood? Bro, you ain't about this lifestyle. Because there are people that really live that lifestyle and they take offense to someone pretending to live that lifestyle. It's just like actors and actresses. If you're not from that, they look differently at a rapper that's just getting to the acting business or someone coming from the outside infiltrating. There's like, that ain't what you do. You didn't go to Juilliard. You didn't train. You didn't go Broadway. You didn't do all this. So they look at them sideways. It's the same thing in that world. There are people that look that, bro, we really do this. And you come out here pretending.
Well, he did win Most Improved Player a year ago, which was highly impressive to me. And the fact that he worked so hard to be the most improved should give us all some hope. That he's got a shot here, to your initial point, that maybe this is the turning point.
Yeah, I don't have no doubt in my mind that he can turn this thing around. There's no question.
Agreed.
Certainly he can. The question is, will he? Guys, excellent.